this is Kathleen in the kitchen, and today we're making screaming tomato soup. And here are all your ingredients. We're starting out with heirloom tomatoes and vine-ripened tomatoes. But don't worry if these are not available in your area. Any tomatoes available in the grocery store will do just fine, and if you don't have those available, canned tomatoes work great too. We have fresh basil. We have celery, but you can also use zucchini in this recipe. It tastes wonderful. We have half of an onion, olive oil, salt, freshly ground pepper, celery seed, parsley. We're going to use chicken bouillon, but you can also use chicken stock, and 1 bay leaf. The wine is here for me, not for the soup. When cutting your onions, here's a little tip. Have a lit candle nearby. That'll keep you from crying while you cut your onions. We're going to prepare the tomatoes now for blanching. In blanching, we take away the skin because we don't want tomato skins in our soup. So give your tomatoes a quick wash and then take away the stem. We're just going to cut that away and pull that out before we put them in the water. Now we're ready to blanch the tomatoes. We have rapidly boiling water, and we're going to carefully lower 3 tomatoes at a time into the boiling water. Very carefully. Now it's going to take 1 to 2 minutes to blanch this. As soon as the skin splits, then you know it's done and it's time to take them out. So stay with it. This is what the skin looks like when it spits. Now it's time to take out. Once all of the tomatoes have been removed from the hot water, transfer them to a bowl and put cold water so that they can cool enough for you to be able to peel the skins off. While that's cooling, it's time for your glass of wine. Now it's time to sweat the vegetables. So add in your olive oil, your onions, your celery, and today's secret ingredient, garlic. Add as much as you like. Smells so good. Okay, now you can see the onions are just starting to get translucent, so that means it's time to add the tomatoes. The tomatoes are being cut and peeled. You can just put those into the pan. And we're going to add just enough water to barely cover because it's going to make its own liquid. So just enough to almost get to the top. We're going to add our basil, our chicken bouillon, our parsley, celery seed, a couple of pinches of salt, freshly ground pepper, and our bay leaf. We're going to take that out before we blend the soup. Give that a quick stir so that the bouillon can get dissolved in the water. Now we're going to cover and let that simmer for 15 minutes. Once your soup has had a chance to cool down, it's time to transfer to the blender. When you're doing that, go ahead and fish out your bay leaf and set that aside. We're going to discard that. And because it's still warm, no more than 1/2 to 2/3 full, because when we blend this, it's going to get much bigger and it could splatter. So we want to be very careful, and we're only going to blend on the pulse setting. Once that's thoroughly blended, I'll add just a dash of milk to make it creamy. Blend once more, and we're all set. It's time to garnish your soup. Just a pinch of Parmesan and a sprig of basil, and you're ready to go. All of your friends are going to be screaming for the recipe for Screaming Tomato Soup, but don't tell them the secret ingredient.